You understand what I'm saying? You would never understand what being independent means if you never had it. It's priceless. Like how much money? Let me ask you a question. How much money would you take to be a slave?
At this point, not a dime.
Exactly.
I couldn't do it.
There's not a billion.
I'm so happy now.
And if you're a slave to get the billion, you've cheated. You have not earned it. That's not earning it. Earning it is doing it, putting up your own money, flipping it, and owning it. Not working for somebody and get paid a fee. You know what I mean? It's a different kind of mentality. So I have no expectation of Flex understanding where I'm coming from.
Right.
And I have no expectation of me understanding him. We're cut from a completely different cloth. Like, I would never, ever fight for someone that's not fighting for themselves.
Right.
I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joey should fight for himself.
Has Joey responded to you, man?
No, you know how he's responded? You know, he doesn't think I know, but, everyone sees what he's doing. He was on the phone, from what I heard, just crying to Flex, like, somebody got to defend me. Like, if you work for Joey right now, he's your boss.
At Interscope. He's at Interscope right now.
How does that make you feel? Like, Joey got to walk through the halls. They laughing at him. They can't laugh in front of him. And he's like, are you going to lead? Like, what are you going to do? They're watching him fold. So how do you respect your boss after that? Oh, he's not a boss. He doesn't put up any money. He's hired. So I feel sorry for him, but I think he should speak up. And I'm not trying to beat him up. I just want to talk. Why can't we have a public forum where we make money off intellectual stuff as opposed to making money off two black men fighting each other and saying bad things about each other? That's ridiculous. And that's why they continue to try to make hip hop look crazy. We are intellectual, but they try to make us look crazy. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, of course.
So that's just my perspective. I'm not mad at anybody, but yeah, it just was like, it's time.
See, I'm not understanding why cats are so afraid.
Oh, you want to know what really? I'm gonna tell you.
Talk right now. Why are cats are so afraid to talk?
I'm gonna tell you why.
The truth right now, Damon.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Or the truth as they see it.
I'm gonna tell you. First of all, people are scared of the unknown, right? The last 5 years, I've been banging out in court all day for different things. Like right now, I'm really battling, or was really, having, not to say battling, but we was going at it with $1 billion company, like real corporate stuff, with the Rachel Roy scenario and at Jones, New York, and, Sequoia and all these different groups. These are real businessmen, right. And they don't scare me. I'm doing real business.
This is life as usual for you.
I'm not doing this for business. Right. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this because I want to make examples of everyone that's taking advantage of our culture, so people will be empowered not to fuck it. Not to curse, but not to be scared of them.
Curse,
not exactly. You could curse. Okay, cool. Not to be scared of them. Not to think that they need them to do anything, and just to stop. I just think it's time. I'm seeing us stick together culturally.
Right.
They can't stop us now. And the good thing about it is Google and the internet and all that has provided us with the freedom that we don't need any more middlemen. And I'm a guy that's used to being the connect anyway. I don't like to pay people to get something. I get out of here. I'll pay for that.
Right.
So now I can speak when I feel like it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Let's go back.
So what I was saying is, so once I was going to war with these dudes and it was so easy, I was like, these guys are really clowns. They're pretending to be businessmen. I do business every day. All these guys just pretend to hip hop that they do business. What business do they do? They don't do any business. They make money off our culture. And then they go into another culture and act like they did something.
And they get celebrated elsewhere.
They think, they're too corny. There's no swag. Those guys don't even know how to have fun.
Let's go back to the series of events, man. Recently, you started going off on Steve Stout. You were on video, and you were saying that, when you were heavily in the game, you were really trying to create a sense of cooperative economics.
I don't like Steve Stout.
Why? What specifically happened, man?
Like I said,
I don't like him either. Like,
nobody really likes him. He's a culture vulture.
Right.
But it's worse because he's black. Again, it's hard for me to have respect for a man. Like, again, I met him. I was hearing about him first through like D-Rock and C's and all of them.
Junior Mafia.
Because they were laughing at him. They were always teasing him. But who's this Steve Stout guy? I wasn't from all that. And they were like, man, he fell asleep. We put a wig on him.
What you mean they put a wig and lipstick on him?
I saw the picture. He had a wig and lipstick, and there was a Polaroid of it. Cam saw it. People saw it. I'm sure that picture's floating around. But anyway, so after that, so I was like, this is
send that shit to me, B.
I don't have it. You know what I'm saying? But this is back when I'm just fresh off, like, I'm young and insecure. Like, man, I would have woke up swinging on everyone. What did he do? And he didn't do anything. So from then I was like, he can, he was done. He was cooked for me. And then when we got to know him, I didn't like, when he was with Nas, he was doing anything he could to salt our deals with, like Interscope and Sony. It would be him that would be like leaving that trail. Like he played like that, and then like when we started to get better and cool, like when we started to, like when we went #1 and all of a sudden he was our friend. And it was a moment that Nas wasn't doing so well, and I think LL. And I didn't like how Steve was telling me all their business. Right. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
and you wasn't even asking.
Yeah. It was like, why are you doing that?
Right. I don't even know you that well.
You know what I'm saying? He would tell me about Will Smith's business. He would just tell me when people were doing bad and just laugh at it. He just had no care for it. And I was like, that's corny, man. I don't like that. I know he's talking about me. And, you know, I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you know, and again, I don't want to glorify nothing, but, you know, he's like, I didn't like the way when Jay started the role, he started trying to be our friend. And, like, number one, when that thing happened with you know, Steve Stout was the dude that got the lawyer to sue Jay. Right. And I was like, what type of shit is that?
Aren't you supposed to be
That's just crazy.
Trying to be our friend?
Regardless, man. Right. Like, first, mind your business. Second of all, God damn, you're going to give a lawyer for someone to do, you know, that's. So that bothered me, and I couldn't have him. I didn't like that. And then.
Did you ever call him out?
Always. And then, like,
would he say anything?
Hold up. No disrespect.
No, that's all good.
So then when we did get cool, I remember I went with him to a Laker game, and Warren G flipped on this nigga. Like, God damn, you know, Warren G's like a smooth dude. I had never met him, but we knew of each other. And I mean, he was flipping on him so bad, I had to ask Warren, could you just do that when I'm not here? I got to ride home with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, why is he so mad at you? Like, good God. Then he started to roll around with security. I'm like, why you need security? And then we used to, like, argue. Like, this is back when we first started getting deals. And we used to bet each other about certain things. And I had bet him like 18 racks or something for something. And one day he was in my office and with Jay. And my brother was there. My cousin Darren was there. And they were talking about doing a party. And I was like, yo, dog, we not doing no party with you. So
you didn't want to do a party with him?
I didn't want to do a party with him. I was like, I'm not doing no party with you. You whack juice, son. You know, you get out of here. You want everybody team.
Right.
And then, like, and I had been playing basketball in the Hamptons before I had broke my foot, you know, playing ball. Like, I was playing in Nike Airs and, like, Little Richie stepped on my foot or whatever. And so I was, like, had a broken foot. And I was like, yo.
Little Richie.
Yeah.
Be Little Richie.
Yeah, we was playing, because we used to play basketball, like, Bad Boy against Rockefeller up in Hamptons and stuff. And he, you know, whatever. So, you know, I was like, yo, by the way, man, you owe me $18,000. You know, I was already aggravated. So I was like, Lee, what's my $18,000? And he was like, I'm not paying you. So I was like, damn, man, I got a broken foot. So I limped over, and she was like, I think you better get out of my office. And again, I'm not glorifying this. I'm not proud of it. Right. But he ass bet me. You know, where you from? You can't just tell a nigga you ain't paying. He's like, I'm not paying you. So, I smacked the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I put my hands on him because it was just so disrespectful to me. And it probably was for other stuff. And, you know, I was like, and this was after he had just told on Puff. And that's another thing I didn't like, that he told on Puff when he got hit with the bottle. Right. Like, he tried to put niggas in jail. Like, I was like, I thought, for where I'm from, that's snitching. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know why he's around. You know, so, you know, I was like, yo, I didn't want, the reason why I smacked him was because he made like a move, like he was going to hit me. And like, imagine if Steve Stout would have caught me and I got a broken foot, and my friends would have been teasing me, you know. All
Steve Stout had a chance, though, to fuck you up, though.
He wouldn't have fucked me up.
With a broken foot, though.
He got smacked.
But he didn't react.
No. I gave him, I was like, I'll give you a fair one. I'm into that. Like, it ain't nothing between us but the win. But, you know, and then I was like, you know, just go call your lawyers, whatever. But
did he call his lawyers?
I think he probably tried, but I don't think he could sue for a smack. You know what I'm saying?
Open hands.
I mean, it's still an assault.
Like, it was a left hook, and I broke my I broke my watch. And again, I'm not.
Oh, that's the best
smack. Frank Mueller. I remember, but it was because I felt threatened.
Right.
And I don't advocate people putting their hands on each other. It's nothing I'm proud of, but it happened. So he's a sneaky guy. You know what I mean? So he's not the kind of guy that's gonna like outright do stuff. So he's also the guy that's been like putting stuff in the paper and salting deals here and there. Like, I hear about it. He talks about it. And then one time I ran into him, and long story short, we almost got into it again. But one of the girls that was working with me jumped in front of me and started punching him in the face with a bag. Boop, boop, boop. You know what I'm saying?
A girl was punching him.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say her name.
Right.
But then another girl that I was with jumped in front of him, and he pushed her on the floor. And I was like, ho. Like, you done. And, I didn't like him pushing a woman on the floor.
Right.
And then I was like, this is getting outrageous. You know what I mean? And the cops came. She ended up suing him, but that doesn't come on the paper. But right. I just don't like the way he handles things. We too old to be fighting. I apologize for smacking him, but I just don't like what he does with the culture. Right. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think he's doing with the culture right now?
I think what he does
as a spokesperson.
I think what he does is he pretends that he's more cooler than he is to white people.
Right.
And then he goes and tells black people that he can make money for them immediately, but he doesn't tell them that it could compromise their brand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what he does is he helps corporate whore out artists And the way he looks at artists is like, you know, you're hot now, I'll pimp you out, and then the next artist. You know what I mean? And I don't like that. So I didn't like seeing Mary J. Blige do a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial. I thought that was, you know, I really, even though at the time I wasn't in business with Jay, I was like, damn, I didn't like seeing him do a Budweiser commercial with a Confederate flag. I just didn't like it. You know, I never agreed with putting Jay's whole name on a $40 sneaker. Like, you know, Sean Carter on a Reebok sneaker, even though the deal was big and whatever, and that's good. But
that wasn't Jay's
all
brand.
Reebok, I knew all Reebok was using it for was promotion for their brand. They're not making money off that. You know what I mean? So if you put your full name on something, it should be expensive because you kill your brand. Once you put your name on something $45, you can't really put your name on something that costs $100,000 because the same person that can afford $40,000, I mean, for $40 sneaker ain't going to want to, you know, $100,000. A person that pays $100,000 or $100, you know, for that kind of money isn't going to want to wear the same thing. So those are the kind of things I just didn't agree with. And then I heard even I hear little pop shots. He talks sometimes and those. So, you know, again, I'm not the kind of person that talks behind a person's back and it's come up and that's just how I feel about it. That was my personal experience with him. I think if you tell on somebody and testify and sue Puff, the problem is these people, these culture vultures, people still work with them. That's what keeps giving them power. But like, if we living by the rules that we subscribe to, if you cooperate, and you sue a brother, I don't see how people be friends after that just because they violated a code. But that's why I don't get paid for my celebrity. No one can give me a check because I live by these ideals. So that's my issues with Steve Stout. You know what I'm saying?
You spoke specifically, though, about trying to collectively build your money with other organizations, other black-owned organizations, and he kind of soured that shit.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to put everybody's business out there, but we did have something that was going on. And
it was something tangible.
It was something that we could do as black people. Like, I always try to put us together and get money for what we could do. Like, I don't believe we need to go outside the culture because we're so powerful.
Right.
We don't need to raise money. We have enough if we put it together and just do it ourselves. And because of the internet, there's no reason to stick together. So, and also, even if you don't make money, I just think for the culture, publicly, we should just show each other sticking together because that's the problem with the culture. We just don't stick together because we're so afraid that someone's going to get that slot. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It just happens.
Do you think it's worse now than a few years ago, or you think it's better?
I think it's better, man. I'm having a good time.
But how so? Like,
because people like Cam, like that I've known for 25 years,
right,
that never sold out. Like, now you get to see who's really about it.
Right.
You could see who your friends were. You could see who was just there for the money. You could see who has any kind of backbone. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a lot more transparency in the game.
I think the problem with people is because they're so insecure. When I'm direct, they overreact to things because they're trying to make a smokescreen for what they're insecure about.
Right.
And then I'm like, yo, I just asked you a question. Why are you so mad? But then also when you yell at me, I'm not about that because I come from a place where you have to show people, like, if you show any weakness, then you can't be outside when you're in a certain business. So somebody flipping on me, I got to take care of that because, you know, that's just instinctually how I have to keep a certain amount of respect. But also, I'm 25 years old. Like, God damn, my brain's not developed. What the fuck y'all want me to be? Super duper genius? You know?
Right. You mentioned a lot of people on Instagram, particularly during your days at Def Jam. But one of the questions that I have to ask you, because this person has always spoken highly of you, is what role did Russell play in all the hijinks that was going on?
He was already sold the company. He
right.
was the face. But he didn't play no role. Like, I never liked the way Lyor carried Russell either. Like, I didn't like the fact when Lyor did, because that's all Lyor did was take Russell's brand and monetize it. That's all he did. I think he could have did that himself.
Right.
And then when the company was sold, you know, he stayed on to run shit. So when he became chairman, I just thought, and even when he was running after they sold Def Jam, I just thought that they should have set Russell up better. I just didn't like the way they treated him. I didn't like the fact that he had to ask. I didn't think he should have had to. I just thought it was very humbling. And Russell's such a gentleman about it. Like, I'd always step to him. Like, I would step to Lyor. I have stepped to Lyor. Like, yo, I don't like the way you carry me.
On behalf of Russell.
Right. And I'll do it in front of Russell, and they get all uncomfortable. And I'll be like, yo,
What would Russell tell you, man?
He'd be like, don't worry about that shit, man. But he has a different way of doing things.
Right.
And I respect his life a lot. And I expect his approach because when he speaks, it's always positive when it comes to the culture. I wish we could work together a little more, but we never worked together.
Right.
But he's also like, Russell was the person that I wanted to be always, you know, because I liked his life. You know, he's very confident. He never walks around with security. He always had women around him, you know, and then
And just what he gave to the culture, like it's undeniable what he gave to the. It's undeniable.
You have to give. That's why I'm saying. So, like, why would he have to ask for a meeting or not take his call to a person he put on?